We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa and I'm joined by Katie and Lauren today because we're very excited to be talking to the man himself, Chris Carter, Wilf Scolding, fresh from running around after Martha. Wilf, welcome to the podcast.
Hello! Sorry, I'm still out of breath from chasing it. It's lovely to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
It is our pleasure. I mean, you've been playing the part of Chris for 8 years now. For some reason, I thought it was longer than that.
Well, that's because I just linger around, and it's just you can't, Yeah, 8 years. It sort of seems like quite a long time on paper, although it feels like just I started a couple of years ago. It's such a sort of institution, and there's so many long-running characters, and it's been going for such a long time as a show. 8 years is sort of nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Can you remember those first few days?
Yeah, I was really nervous. I remember my audition, and it was with Charlotte, who plays
Susan.
Susan, my mum. Interestingly, I've got a thing about that, which I'll tell you in a sec. But yeah, she was really, really lovely, and made me feel incredibly relaxed. I was quite nervous because I think it was also the first time my parents had been like, hang on a minute, you're a real actor.
You're in something I've heard of?
Hang on a minute. No, they've been very supportive throughout the whole process, but they did sit up and were like, oh, that would be a good job to get.
That's so good. So obviously something that stands out quite a bit, you don't actually sound like Chris. So
Yeah.
Do you have kind of a certain phrase or a certain word to get yourself into Chris, or is he just waiting for you in the green room?
No, I do. He's always waiting for me in the green room. No, I do. I grew up in Keynsham, just between Bristol and Bath, so the accent's very familiar to me. But if I say West Country, that's my little key.
Yeah.
Lots of actors have little keys in. I'm sure you've spoken to other people who have as well. But yeah, I just say West Country, and I'm there.
Oh, great!
Oh, go on, give us a line. Give us a full Chris line, Wilf.
Come on, Martha. That's enough now. Come on. There you are, West
There we
Country.
go.
See, knees there.
3 minutes in, and she's already asked for
Sorry.
a Chris Carterism. Lovely. So, Wilf, I thought we'd get to know a bit about you and Chris. So, on the Archers website, which is infrequently updated, they have a few sort of likes and dislikes, and maybe highs of Chris's life and lows of Chris's life.
Oh, fun.
I wondered.
What are Chris's?
Yeah, so I'm about to reveal them to you, but I'm wondering if your likes and dislikes are the same as Chris's. So this is probably the funniest one yet, because the likes that Chris likes are, there's two things he likes.
Yeah.
One is cricket. So how do you feel about cricket?
I'm sort of ambivalent.
Yeah.
Do
Do you understand it? Would you know what was going on if you were to?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I'm no expert. I have to get the director and other people in the cast to explain to me what's happening. So,
Yeah.
I can just about follow if I'm with the right people. I can cheer at the right spots.
It's very cricket heavy at the moment as well, and Philippa and I are finding it taxing.
It's
on the cricket.
yeah. Sometimes you've got to wade through the cricket to get to the good stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing, the other one of Chris's likes is having a good laugh.
Hey, well, that is
How do you
similar
feel
to
about
me.
having a good laugh, Will?
You've hit the nail on the head. I don't know how you guessed.
If there's one niche thing you really like.
So specific. You won't get many people who enjoy having a good laugh, but Chris is one of them.
Yeah, and also, I don't even think I would have said that about Chris. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person who, I wouldn't think, oh, Chris, he likes a good laugh.
He's never having a good laugh. He's always
No,
working.
I know.
Always picking up Martha or working.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll speak to the writers. We need to write him some good
Give
laughs.
him a good
So
laugh.
on
That's
the
what he
website,
likes. That's on the website.
Apparently.
And weirdly, not one dislike on there. So
He doesn't dislike anything.
Can you think of anything he might dislike? Like, he seems he's very
really.
placid and sort of gets on with everyone, doesn't he?
He's sort of very, very easygoing.
Well, there we go. So I've got no dislikes for you to compare, but I have got his highs and his lows. So his highest moment, the highest moment of Chris's entire life, apparently, was in 2008 when he qualified as a fully fledged farrier. Would you agree?
I think that's a big old moment. It's very I think his identity is very much tied to his work, and he's very proud of that, and he works really hard, and he sort of thinks of himself as a self-made man, even though Brian helped. You didn't hear that. But I'd say that was a huge moment. I think as well, another huge moment for him, even though they're separated now, I think another huge moment was when he and Alice got married in Vegas, because there's a fair few episodes. I came in after that, and I took over from a previous actor. But there were a fair few episodes sort of referencing that, about how wonderful that time was. And, yeah.
So the low, sad, was being seriously injured by an agitated horse in 2013. Now, I wasn't listening in 2013. So Philippa, can you fill us in with what was happening then? What was this agitated horse?
Well, I think he got... Again, I wasn't playing the character at that point, so it's all hearsay, of which there is a lot in the Archers. I think, he got. I think he had to be taken to hospital, and it was all a bit scary. But I'd say again, I wonder if perhaps there might be a few.
There's been a few more lows.
There's been a few darker moments since then. I think when Alice was first admitting she had drinking problems and trying to get sober. And hiding the booze from him, and everything to do with Martha and the birth of Martha, and breaking up with her. I think that was, in my experience, having played the character for the years that I have, in those years, that's been the lowest point, I would say.
And that has not been a good laugh for Chris, and we know how much he loves a good laugh.
Come on. Give him something. There's nothing funny about that.
Nothing. Okay, so we need to get them to update the infrequent. We need to make it a little bit more frequent than infrequent. I couldn't
possibly comment on that.
Thank you for indulging me on those points.
No, of course.
Will, you've already mentioned Martha, and I do need to ask, because you listen to the Archers.
I do.
Martha does strike me as
she's very quiet
and precocious.
Quietly
the
precocious.
Most precocious child in
Philippa,
Ambridge. Am I
don't
being
want to
wrong?
fall out with you about this. I think she probably is. I think she's definitely got Chris wrapped around her little finger. Was there anything that struck you particularly precocious about her behaviour recently, or things pinging out?
Even this week, we heard about how she made Brian carry her all the time, so Brian's back was hurting. Yes, and she's insisting on a pink sparkly cup at a party. You know,
but I would do that. Otherwise, how would you have a good laugh?
Yeah, fair enough. That should be on his likes then, a pink sparkly cup.
It should. Let's update that. Yeah, I think she probably is. I don't know because I don't have kids, but I suspect it's really tricky if parents are separated to resist. Even if parents are together, I suspect it's really hard not to spoil your kids. And if your time is limited in your sharing and co-parenting, and then I suspect it's probably even harder to not spoil kids. I certainly think that if I had kids and then separated from my partner or something, then it would definitely be a temptation, because you'd want them to always have a good time with you, and you know. So
pink sparkly cups everywhere.
Pink sparkly cups. She's bored of them. She hates them. It's like, please, not another one.
More.
I'm fed up.
We need pink sparkly merch, really. But...
Yeah. So I suspect it's partly to do with that. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. So in your real life, as Wilf, you're a chef. And I just wondered, with Wilf knowing about food, Susan and Neil obviously have their chili. So do you think Chris would have his special food for his special someone, whether it would have been Alice or anyone else?
I think he doesn't mean spag bol. I'm actually making spaghetti bolognese at the moment. I think he's... How to put this nicely? what's the word? He's not very well-travelled.
Adventurous.
Adventurous, thank you. Perfect. He's not very adventurous with his cooking, and I think probably any exotic dishes in his mind, anything that isn't sort of pie and chips, would come from either his parents or Alice. I think he's a meat and two veg boy.
But pie and chips is...
You can't go wrong with that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, going a bit serious now.
Okay.
One of the scenes I remember really vividly with Chris in is when Alice has asked him to lock her in the bathroom so she can't drink. How was acting that out? And was that done in lockdown?
It was.
Yeah.
It was really tough. It was really harrowing and emotional. And Holly was just fantastic. She was extraordinarily amazing at conveying all of the stuff that needed to convey. It was tricky because geographically we were in sort of the height of COVID, so we weren't allowed to be within, I think, 5 feet of each other, if not more. So playing intimate scenes is a little tricky with that. But obviously there are tricks, and things like just going closer to the microphone. You can tell the story to the listener of intimacy there. But it helped that she was locked behind a door. Scene, so that was we could separate it. We've only just recently started getting back everybody on the same mic in the same scene. It's it really affected recording. But yeah, that was a big day. I remember being exhausted.
I bet.
Afterwards, and I think Holly was as well.
We interviewed Holly.
Did you?
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was about that scene, Philippa, maybe you remember, but she was, or it might have been when she was giving birth, and her husband was on a Zoom call for work, and he was like, sorry, my wife's an actor, and she's giving birth in the other room. Was it the birth scene, or was it when she was doing the bathroom scene?
Yeah, it was giving birth in the car. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, so that must have been strange filming those sort of highly emotional scenes, either 5 foot away from each other or over the phone or however you're dialing it in. Yeah.
The dialing in was tough. I much prefer, and I think most people I've spoken to do, being in the same room. There's sort of nothing like it in terms of playing with the scene and the connection with the other actor and telling the story, because that connection is there. It's not online. But rules were rules, and I had to record under a duvet for most of the summer.
Yes. Oh, how lovely and cozy.
We're just glad that you did all carry on, because it was very important to us to have the Archers to listen to. Wilf, I am worried about Chris, though, still, because who does he have to chat to? Harrison's buggered off to Coronation Street.
I know.
Chris, who's he going for a pint with?
I don't think he is at the moment. I know. I sort of think about this. I'm like, who on earth does he hang out with? I think he hangs out with some of the cricket boys. I think he is quite a family man, so he likes to see his parents. He's a bit of a mummy's boy, but he's also a daddy's boy. And he hangs out with those and gets, things. He goes and raids mum's freezer and gets the biryani out and stuff like that. Because he can't cook it. I know, I'm a little bit worried about him as well. And for somebody who loves a good laugh, when's he having them?
He's not.
There was no one to have a laugh with.
No.
Him and Hannah were resolved to be pals, haven't they?
Yeah. They've had
She's not a good laugh, though, is she?
Well, I think she is. I think he finds her quite funny.
Yeah.
Do you not think she's a good laugh?
Oh, I find her very, very hard. I never forgive her for how she spoke to Emma.
Oh, yes.
And I'm still not over that, and I should be.
It's hard. Ambridge is the village of grudges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's hard to let go of some things.
So you mentioned when you were interviewing with Susan, with your mum. So that must have been kind of easier when you went to the green room that first time, because I guess that's quite nice to have someone that as long as they're recording on the same day, it's not a room of strangers. How was that first time at the Green Room?
Nerve-wracking again. Everyone was really lovely, really welcoming. It's such a sort of tight family, and everyone's so sort of genuinely interested in how you're doing and supportive. And we've got a WhatsApp group where everyone shares their news. You know, if people have if new babies are being born, or somebody's got a nice job, then everybody's incredibly supportive, and I really love that. And that was exactly the same on my first day, and it was very nice to have Charlotte as a reference point. Oh yeah, the thing I was going to say about her. So in real life, my mum's called Charlotte, and Charlotte plays my mum in The Archers. In real life, my little sister is called Emma, and obviously Emerald plays Emma. And then in real life, my dad is called Neil, and
it was meant to be.
Brian plays Neil, so it was all written in the stars.
Oh, it was meant to be.
Yeah. They forgot about my brothers, but
you never know.
You never know.
They still you could have some brothers.
Keep listening.
That chilly.
Oh, chilly.
So, you could tell, Philippa and I are very into our books. You can see. Can you see the books in our background?
What have you got there?
Oh, hundreds. I mean, we can't even begin to go. I've got about 800 unread books here. It's insane, the amount of books.
Sorry, you're only going to see out my nose now because I'm just looking at what.
Arranged by colour as well, which freaks people out. And Philippa's arranged by colour as well.
Very good.
I'm also quite into my audiobooks, and I noticed that you narrated the Congress of Rough Riders.
Yes, I did.
How does that differ? How does that process differ from being the radio play compared to...
I found it really hard. I have a huge respect for voice actors who do a lot of audiobooks because I found it incredibly draining and taxing on the voice. I could sort of do 20, 30 minutes stints, you know, if I'm reading a book to my nephews or stuff like recording The Archers. But even recording The Archers, you're only, you know, the actual time you spend speaking the lines is very, very short compared to obviously reading a whole book. And no, I can say this because it's not BBC. They're not paid well.
Oh, okay.
For the amount of time you have to put in. This is why I really respect actors who do a lot of them. Because you have to read the whole book at least once. It helps if you do it 2 or 3 times, which sort of rules out anybody with dyslexia anyway. And then you have to go through all the characters, make sure they all sound different enough that they can be distinguishable without an introduction in the line. Because you're sight reading, you know, you've read the books, you know what happens, but essentially you don't know the text very, very well. It's not really familiar. So any stumbles you do, you have to go back and redo it again. So by the time you've finished, you know, unless you're incredibly adept at it, and I'm not, you're spending sort of 2 hours recording half an hour's worth of text.
Wow. Well, that was going to be one of my questions. I know the book is sort of just over 12 hours long. Like, how much work goes into producing a 12-hour audiobook for the narrator?
I think it took 5-6 hour sessions.
Wow.
So what's that, 30 hours?
Yeah. And can you feel your voice going by the end? Like when you're into day 3 or 4, are you like...
And your tongue stops working. You have to do weird, you know, tongue exercises to try and get that going.
And the stamina you build up. You read from the beginning to the end as well, so it's not even like they try and mix it up so that... I should be listening into those audiobooks to hear if people
don't listen to that one.
sounding different by the end.
But I would love to do more, but probably shorter children's books.
Yes. 20-minute sessions,
or if it's something I've read loads of times before, like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Or
something. That would be a great one, wouldn't it? Oh, amazing! Think of the voices. Oh, don't.
Think about your other projects, though, Wilf. I mean, you've done Games of Thrones, Fantastic Beasts, Outlander, Andor.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Forget other projects. Who is this?
This is Nelly. This is my dog.
Nelly, look at you.
Nelly.
Oh, Nelly.
Welcome, Nelly.
She got bored of
She
No,
wants to
Nelly
be
is
on the
very
podcast
welcome.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, I fancy a bit of coverage, actually.
Yes. Has she got an agent, Will?
Well, no, she was almost on Call the Midwife, though.
Oh, of
I did
course, you
Oh,
were
I
on
did a
there, weren't
tiny,
you?
I did a tiny stint on that, and Nelly came to set with me. She can do tricks. Actually, I'll show you.
Yeah.
come on.
We'll see the tricks.
The best.
Okay. Tricks?
We're in.
No one else has done tricks.
Yes.
Oh, well, there we are. No.
Winning.
Can you see her here? All right, come. Can you see her?
Yeah.
Oh, dancing.
There we go.
Oh, she's brilliant. Yes.
There we go.
Oh my good. So are you both going on Strictly next
We should
time?
be, really. Britain's Got Talent.
Yes, I think so. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
back-
with
back-
your yeah,
Back to the podcast.
Back to Game
Sorry.
of Thrones.
back to Game of Thrones. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
can. I mean, yeah, with all these other things that you've been working on, Games of Thrones, Fantastic Beasts, Outlander, and/or Call the Midwife, and The Archers. When you're trying to, not that you need to impress anyone, but what do you throw in first? What's the
Oh, that's a good
What's the
question.
league table?
It's usually The Archers first, actually.
Yeah,
Honestly, and the listenership is huge.
absolutely.
Game of Thrones, I did beat that drum for quite some time. I ate out a lot on that. But people are getting a bit tired of it now, and the House of Dragon is about, so it's not. I can't,
Did they bleach you for that, Wilf, or was it full wig?
No, it's full wig.
Oh right,
Full
okay.
wig.
I was going to say that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
some bleach job otherwise.
It was. I'm surprised you can see me. Actually, I was chatting to my girlfriend earlier, and she hasn't seen it. Mostly, you can see the wig, and the only bit of me you can see it pointing out is my nose.
Oh,
So it's very. It's very surprising if people, anybody ever recognises me from it. But no, usually The Archers. That's what people are most impressed with. Quite rightly.
yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So the other role that you've been doing recently as well is cabaret. So how was that, kind of having to travel from the world of cabaret to the world of Ambridge and trying to juggle the two of them? Or did you not have storylines at that time?
No, I did. They were really, really lovely, and they sort of worked around my cabaret schedule because it's 8 shows a week and matinees Wednesday and Saturday. And so I sort of had to be careful about not overdoing it. I think a lot of actors, myself included, have a thing where if work is offered, it feels sort of mad to turn it down because it's tricky to make a living. I've been very, very lucky with the work I've done, but I'm under no illusions that that's not common. So the Archers were really lovely, and I said if I could be first up on a Tuesday or a Monday or a Friday, that would be great. Or if there's one or two eps I could do on a Sunday, then maybe I could do that. But I did have to try and be strict with myself, and they were very accommodating. But yeah, it was interesting. I've never been in the West End before, and that was wonderful, and it's sort of very and it's such a cool show to be on as well. Yeah, have you guys seen it?
It's on my list. I'm
Is it on
trying to
your
get
list?
to it this year. Yeah, I
It's
really want to go.
I still know a lot of the cast. They're absolutely fantastic. It's well worth seeing if you can get it. If you can get it.
They've had a great, some people in it as well, haven't they? They've
Yeah,
had some
big time.
amazing.
I worked with some really cool people.
Right, amazing. But back to Ambridge.
Yes, more importantly.
And if you were visiting Ambridge for the day, where do you think you might be? Where might you be going? What might you be doing?
That's a really good question. So speaking of my girlfriend, she is a recent Archers convert. Quite rightly.
We like
So
her.
I think you'd like her. And I got her an Archer's puzzle for Christmas, which we did over New Year's, and I can't remember any of the places in it. But I think there's a tea room that's on the puzzle.
Ooh.
I think there's a tea room that's on the puzzle that isn't mentioned ever in Hang on, let me see if I can find a
Look at
picture. Of the
Katie's
puzzle.
literally thinking, I'm going to get that puzzle.
I
I am getting that
It's
puzzle.
very, very. It's not widely distributed. I think it's going to be yeah.
So it's
Is
not
that the
Natasha
puzzle?
and Tom's tea room. This is a different tea room.
No, I don't think it is. It's not Tom's Tea Room. I might have got the name wrong, but it's another establishment where we were like, why isn't that never mentioned? Why can't we
Is
go
that the
there?
puzzle behind you,
Wow.
Katie? Is that a puzzle?
No, that's
oh.
that's the Ordnance Survey map.
Oh,
of
okay.
Ambridge.
Is it?
But yeah. So yeah,
So
we've got
cool.
the proper Ordnance Survey map.
That's what you can get at this Christmas.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just can't let her listen to this podcast.
It has a little advert for Underwoods on it and everything. It's very
Does
cute.
it really?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I really love all the Archer's stuff. No, she's borrowing the bottle today, but I've got a bottle which it's honestly my pride and joy. It's the best freebie I've ever been given.
There is a board game as well.
Oh,
Will.
is there?
An Archer's board game that we play. Yes.
You've got it.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's brilliant. And there's this section where you have to keep impersonating different characters in the Archers, and you get given these different subjects. So you have to talk in the voice of like Eddie Grundy about harvest festivals, and it's all pressure. It's yeah.
Is it a
What's
good
it
laugh?
called?
It sounds like a good laugh.
It sounds like a good laugh.
It is,
I'm
yeah,
in.
Chris would love it.
What is it called? Amazing.
It's just the Archers board game. I think I got it off eBay.
We need to meet up and play it.
Oh, it's yes.
All of us. I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get everyone.
Yeah, it's on
Pink sparkling
eBay.
mug.
There we go.
Love
Have you
it.
found it, Will?
I'm sorry. It's
No, don't
I'm
worry.
round about the right area. I was doing Little Shop of Horrors up in Sheffield, and so we did it with her parents. There it is.
The
I
Archer's
love
Jigsaw
Little Shop
Puzzle.
of
I've
Horrors.
got it here.
One of my favourite musicals.
Do you?
Yeah,
It's
it's wonderful. It is one of my favourite films.
It's so fun. Here we go. Right. I don't know how well you can. No.
I've got it up on my screen as well, so I'm having a look to see if it's the same one.
Let's put that up. Can you see? Let's hold that up to the camera.
That is what I've got on my screen as well.
Is that the same?
It's not.
It's not very good, is it?
No.
No.
Whereabouts is it? Where in Ambridge is it on the map?
It shows the whole. It
Yeah.
shows the whole lot.
I will get that puzzle,
Sure,
and I
it
will
is
have a
sure.
lovely time doing it.
And
I
then
know,
Lauren
I
will
need
tell
it.
us, and we'll come back to you, Wilf, with a full
Then when
debrief
I've done it, I
on.
can
better.
package it all back up
The
and
tea
send it to
room.
one of you, and then we can just have a lovely time just recycling
Yes.
the puzzle.
Yes.
There we go.
Perfect.
I'm furious. I'm sorry. That's going to really upset me.
It's going to plague you, Wilf, isn't it?
It really will.
Can
You'll
we
find
just
it just as we finish.
I will.
Can we talk about in studio? Just a couple of questions about that. First of all, who's the cheekiest in studio? Would you say?
James Cartwright.
We got that vibe. It is. Have you seen his interview? He's sort of sat there in a vest, just
Is he?
looking cheeky, being cheeky.
He's a cheeky boy. I love James. We all
He's
get
got
on.
big Labrador energy, hasn't he?
Big Labrador energy. Yeah, definitely.
So when you first get invited, when they say, right, are you available?
Mhm.
You answer sort of yes or no.
Yeah.
And then there's the waiting time until you get dates. And then what happens after that, Wilf? Can you just talk us through it?
Yeah, so they check your availability and they give you sort of, I think it's always 10 days, I think they record. They record in blocks of 10 days. So they check when you're available on those days, and you know there's backing and forthing and stuff, and they see if they can fit stuff on certain days or not. And then you get the episodes through. Sometimes you're told how many there'll be, sometimes you're not. If there's a fair few, sometimes they have to make sure that you can do all of them, sort of thing. You know, it's all of that. And then you get a package that looks like this.
Oh.
Oh.
And we get I'm not going to show you, but
No, don't show us. But oh.
You get the Ambridge Insider.
Oh,
So there's
I
little-
love
I've heard
that.
about that. Yes.
little parish updates. I'll show you so you can't.
That's great.
Little parish updates of stuff like if people have had babies, or if, who's leaving, who's coming, any new additions to the Archers, and then you get your episodes, which look like this. Cover the cast names so you can't see.
Right.
Wow.
You've probably been shown these loads of times before, but yeah. So in fact, this afternoon, just in case there was any questions I had to field about the future.
Oh, there might be.
So I've been going through and marking up all my lines and seeing who I'm talking to and what's going on and that sort of stuff.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And do you get a letter from Jeremy as well with those scripts
Yes.
sometimes,
Yeah,
setting
so
out what's going to happen in the
Exactly.
storyline?
Yes, it's setting out the sort of main events of what's going to be happening in the coming eps.
Ooh.
So you get those scripts, which we would dearly love to be able to see, but never mind. We won't see every word of it. And then the day comes when it's studio day. You go to the mailbox, but you're not straight in recording. There are read-throughs. Can you just tell us a bit about that as well, Will?
Yeah, I really love those bits because it's such a lovely way to say hello to everybody. We're back in the green room, which is lovely. So we all sit round and catch up and ask how everybody's doing, and then the director comes in with one of the studio coordinators or producers, and they stop us sort of shouting and having a good laugh, and we read through the episode, which is always brilliant and often very funny, and sometimes there are lines on the Archers that it's quite hard to say with a straight face. So we get all the laughing sort of out of the way and on those points, and any line changes and stuff like that, just for practicalities. If there are wrong dates or inaccuracies, or it makes that particular line makes it sound like this person is doing another thing or whatever. Corrections like that.
So do you end up practicing quite a lot before you go into the green room? Do you get a lot of time between getting those scripts and going in to recording? Or do you kind of look over it, obviously, when you're highlighting and getting ready for it? But do you practice a lot, or you kind of read through it in the read-throughs as well?
Read through it in the read-throughs. You get the script around about, what we know, 10th, and I'm recording on about 12 days before you record. So you've got time to go through them and mark them up. I like to read through them and mark up my stuff and do any sort of question marks if I'm confused about what a certain thing means or not. But I don't like, and I like to read it out loud in Chris's voice, just because sometimes the West Country accent, I find it tricky sometimes to not to stumble on certain phrases or. Because of the R's, back-to-back R's, are tricky sometimes. So I'll underline things to look out for and stuff like that. But I don't like to over-rehearse because then I feel that it's not as fresh in studio, if that makes sense. So it's a fine line between trying to be prepared but not over-prepared.
Well, talking about being prepared, Wilf, we now have the Facebook questions.
I can't wait.
Are you ready for these,
No.
Katie? You go first.
Right, so the first one is from Lorna.
Yeah.
And she said, when did he realise they were going to pursue an alcoholism storyline with Alice, and how did he feel about it? Did he do any research to play his traumatic parts of her descent?
That's a really good question. They told us as we were going into lockdown, and it was announced that we'd be doing remote sessions. And actually, they were going to hold off. I think it had been storylined, but they were going to hold off for about 6 months or something, if not longer. But they advanced it because both me and Holly had microphones that we could record remotely with, and so they brought it forward and started writing in eps where it featured. And it had been hinted at before as well. You know, she'd been drunk at parties a bit too much, and a bit of a good time girl. Likes a good laugh with a beer. Yes, and so I did do a fair amount of research. I spoke to my parents a lot. They are doctors, and I thought it would be interesting to speak to them about it. And I did a fair bit of research online about the effects. And I think the Archers have dealt with this so fantastically because the effects are so far-reaching. It's not just the person it affects, the person with alcoholism and their partner. It affects there are circles, and it makes waves, and it's a really horrible disease. And I thought the Archers drew attention to it and didn't gloss over any of those bits. I thought they really did it justice.
Absolutely. Did you? Oh, it's me. I was just basking in your answer, Will, thinking how wonderful that was.
I'm glad it was basketball.
Oh. We'll get back to it. Jessica asks, do you want Chris to get back with Alice?
Do I? Wilf?
As Wilf.
Yes.
Do you? Yes, you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not too soon. I want more episodes before it gets there.
Play it out. Keep playing it out.
Absolutely, play it out. But I would love that. I think this is my opinion. This is not what I've been told at all. But I think Chris still carries a very, very bright candle for us.
Big torch.
I think most of the listeners think about that. Think that as well. So yes, I would love it.
Very good, thank you. The next question is from Darcy, who asks, what did you know about farriers, or even just horses in general, before taking on the role of Chris?
Not much. I had to do a bit of research there as well. I knew vaguely what they did, and the main thing that I found out from my research that I was most pleased about was that it doesn't hurt the horse at all when you pop a shoe on, if you're a good farrier. And in my mind, Chris is.
Yes.
So yes, no, and horses, not much. My uncle had a small farm when I was tiny. It doesn't anymore, but he had a shy horse and a pony, and I rode on the pony, and that was really fun. But that's my own experience, really.
Do you know my nan, who has nothing to do with horses, loves watching videos of horses being moved?
Really?
What?
That's so interesting.
Obsessed with them, yeah. She's like, she watches them on Facebook videos. The algorithm has got her absolutely locked in, non-stop.
Listen, I'm a sucker for an algorithm.
Being hooved.
That's really interesting. And she's had no experience of horses previous.
She is not a woman you would see on a horse. And she just loves to watch videos of horses being hooved.
Hey, listen, whatever floats your boat.
No judging at all.
No.
I imagine it's probably quite soothing, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe. In fact, I'm really sorry, guys. I've got to go.
I'll get my nan to hit you up with a playlist of the best ones.
We can have a good laugh. I'll leave that joke now. Let's get tired.
Nah. Patricia asks, do you think Chris feels inferior to the lofty Archers?
Oh, very good question, Patricia. I think he finds it hard not to want to prove still that he is as able financially to take care of Martha as they are. I think that's probably always a thing. If the couple in question have different backgrounds, that's definitely going to be something they'll have to navigate. So I don't know about inferior characteristically. I think he's very proud of his family and what they've done and where he's come from and who he is. But I suspect there's always a bit of a thirst to prove himself financially, and prove his financial independence.
I've got a question from Ra. Ra wants to know if you think Alice and Chris will get back together. So we've already covered that.
Listen, Ra, don't repeat. No, that's right.
But there's more. Ra wants more. So Ra wants to know if if there is anyone else that you'd like to see Chris with and get together with
have
in
a
the
dalliance
village.
with.
Well,
Oh,
now you've said
interesting.
dalliance, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh, what did you say? I spoke over
No,
you.
I
I'm so
said
sorry.
have a get together with, but I would be
Get together
interested.
with.
I'd be interested in hearing about the dalliances.
Well, yes.
Lillian, she looks like she likes a dalliance. She'd like a dalliance
Lillian.
with Chris.
Now, there's somebody
That's
who likes
keeping
a
it in
good
the
laugh.
family. She is someone who likes a good laugh.
If there's anybody who likes a good laugh in that village, it's Lillian.
I would love it to be with Fallon while Harrison's away, because that would be...
Boom!
Oh,
Sorry.
shocking.
That would be a juicy bit of gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pouring the tea about that bit of Archers would...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd burn some fingers. Is there anybody? I think it would be really fun, but I think the die-hard romantic in me wants him to be celibate until Alice finally gets
Returns
a
to
breath.
him.
He finally is like, all right, bloody hell.
Oh, very good. The next question is from Robert.
Yeah.
And Robert says, thank you for making each trip to Ambridge so worth it.
Oh,
That's
Robert,
lovely.
very kind.
And Robert asked, what reactions do other actors have about you being on The Archers?
What reactions do other actors have?
Yes, that you come across.
Mixed. Some people don't know what it is, and some people do know what it is. But if they do, then they're always very impressed. Quite rightly.
Yes. I should have asked earlier, Wilf, were you distraught that you weren't involved in Sewage Week?
I was distraught, actually, in Sewagegate. Yeah, that was. I'm still come to terms with that.
Sorry.
I'm writing a strongly worded email as we speak.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Ella asks, if Chris wasn't a farrier, what other job in Ambridge do you think he'd do instead?
That's a very good question. I think something where I think he's. I think what my interpretation of Chris is that he really loves the learning the skill part of being a farrier, learning a craft. So some sort of apprenticeship, whether that would be in a similar vein, or whether it would be sort of plumbing, electrician, that sort of stuff. So I think he'd want to learn a trade and set up his own sort of business, and that would tie in with his need for financial independence and to prove that to everybody.
Tree surgery with his sister.
Tree surgery with the sister, yeah, very good.
He's not talking to her, though. So.
No, that's true.
Well,
No one would be shouting, clear the drop zone.
They slightly made up on the
Yes.
not recycling week. It was the, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was
They
the
did,
week
and I-
recently that Rochelle was supposed to run.
Well-being.
The mental health
Well
one.
done. Yeah, that's
They
right.
did slightly make up, yeah.
Yeah.
They had a slightly
Wasn't it
fraught
Apple
conversation,
Week?
but it warmed. Apple
It-
Week. Yeah, that
Apple
rings a
Week.
bell.
So many weeks. Online
Right,
fraud
you can-
week, do you remember that?
I can record a voice note and I'll send it to you later so we can edit it in. So
Insert
we all know
week
what we're talking
here.
about. Yeah, honestly, we know what this
I
is.
think it was Apple Week.
Apple
Apple
Week, wow.
It was something to
Or
do with
Apple
well-being,
Day.
though, as well, wasn't it?
Well-being. Because Martha was there having a great time, wasn't she, at Well-being Day, even though it wasn't well attended, yeah. I can't remember.
Or maybe they're different events.
It's all about well-being. Gillian has asked,
Yeah.
would you like to have a Vegas wedding for real?
Oh, yes and no. I think there's the spontaneity and that romanticism, and I think it would be fun to go to Vegas. I think that appeals to me, but I think in real life I'd want all my friends and family there, and I can't afford to pay for them all to come out to Vegas. So
No. It's quite expensive, isn't it?
I think it's a little pricey. I've heard. So yes and no.
The next question is from Ruth, who asks, what is it like in the studio to be interacting with a daughter who isn't there?
That's a really good question. It's interesting. There's a lot of interacting with things that aren't there, but it's only if it's your child that it's a person. But I guess it's the same approach that I would try and use if I'm picking up something heavy, it's that sort of, you use your voice to try and convey that bit. Or if you're Martha, don't do that over there. It's that sort of same sort of thing.
I believed she was
I
there.
was there.
That's why they pay me the big
I was
bucks.
transformed.
So there are tricky bits, but the writing is really good, and usually I'm in a scene with somebody else who's also interacting with an imaginary child. So when everybody believes together, it's easier.
Yeah.
Abby wants to know, is there an actor or character who you'd like to do more scenes with, and why?
Very good question. Oh, yes. Usha. Firstly, because I love Suad and I really get on with her. And secondly, because I think she's such an interesting character, and I haven't heard many episodes of her recently. And I think with her legal background, I think if there's a storyline that Chris got in hot water legally or something, and he had to have a few conversations with Usha. Now,
Nelly's up for it as well.
Yes.
My girlfriend's coming up. Come in. She can spot my. You can see at the window just there. There's a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Juliet balcony, and Nelly can see when my partner comes home, and then starts barking because she's very excited about it.
It's my dream that my cat would meet me like that rather than indifference or. We've got a question here from Barry.
Yep.
Barry with an IE, unusual.
Oh, lovely.
Chris is such a sound, sensible and stoical character. As Wilf, do you wish he would go a bit wild sometimes?
I wish he'd have a good laugh.
Well, he does love
I
a
really
good laugh.
do. He never has a good laugh. He's always working. He's always
so
hammering
stoical.
shoes, shoeing horses. Shoo. Somebody made that joke to me the other day, and it was the first time I'd thought of it, and it absolutely got me. I was in stitches for ages. What's the Yes.
Oh, good.
And before I go to the next question, I can confirm in October last year, Alice convinced Chris to attend Apple Day with her and Martha, leading to a positive change in his sibling dynamic with Emma.
Is that written in your
There we
diary,
go.
Philippa?
Very good research. I'm really
How can you
impressed.
find that out so quickly?
Yeah.
Ah,
Incredible.
scary.
Very good.
Thousands of people working for you.
Next question is from Sally, who asks, if Chris won the lottery, what would be his first buy?
Oh, interesting. Probably a new van.
Oh,
Forge.
yes.
A new Forge and a new van.
Lovely, thank you.
I reckon he'd do that. I reckon he'd buy his parents a nice place. Want to sort out his family, and then he'd spoil Martha Rotten again.
Even more
yes.
so.
Another pony.
Yeah. I know, that
Brent
was
wants
weird.
to know.
Sorry.
Bit much.
Good old champion. Yeah, champion pony. Brent wants to know, if you were a blacksmith in real life and could only make one thing, what would it be?
Oh gosh, now there's a question. I don't know.
That is a question.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look around my flat and
a gate with a heart with
gates would
Alice
be
and
nice.
Chris.
Oh, Lord.
just constant rings with Alice like engraved on them.
Yeah.
He won't make anything else.
Wow.
No, I must answer this question because otherwise it's not fair. I think bespoke cutlery. I think that's probably what gets used most in this flat.
Wow.
Love
It's
it.
made of metal.
Perfect.
Perfect answer. So we've got Trisha and Anne, who have both been a bit concerned where Chris is at the moment, and you alluded to some upcoming scenes.
Yeah.
So you've really answered the question, do you have a storyline coming soon? And the answer is...
Yes, I do.
There we go.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And the final question from our Facebook group is from Nikki,
Yeah.
who has a question about food. Now, Will, food is very important to Katie, Lauren and myself on the podcast. We talk about it regularly.
Oh, good.
Nikki asks, Chris enjoyed several Sunday roasts cooked by Jennifer.
Yeah.
Where does Wilf stand on including mashed potato with a roast dinner?
Very good question. I personally would go for roasties over mash with a roast dinner. If you're going to have mash, I think it should be like Swede or something.
What about mash as well?
Mash as well.
As
I
roasted,
wouldn't turn down.
I would like. My
girlfriend does a very
diabetes
good
would not
mash.
like that, but I would like that very much.
All the carbs.
Yeah.
As many potatoes as possible. But I'm open to arguments. So, you know.
Well, if we come to the very final question, which is our pass the parcel question,
Yeah.
where we ask a cast member that we interviewed last time a question to ask you.
Yeah.
And the person we interviewed last was the wonderful Annabelle, who plays Kirsty.
Yes.
And her question is this. If Chris is never going to get back with Alice and doesn't want to try his luck with Hannah, who can you see him with in the future? If you're stuck for ideas, there's a lovely girl in Ambridge in her early 40s who's very into beavers and who is single.
Oh,
She sounds perfect.
she does. She's been through the ringer as well, so she needs a bit of.
I know.
She needs a
bless
good
her.
laugh.
Well, they both do. Neither of them are having it. Oh, bless her. I know. She has been through the ringer. Kirsty, yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Something
Well,
about that earlier.
Wilf, it has been an absolute joy to talk to you. We're so grateful for your time. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much for having me. It's been really lovely.